I should have on Facebook.
Well, here yawning and crazy and carrying.
Yeah. What's up, good people? You got Lavelle here and my good friend Letitia Campbell. What's going on, everybody? We are with you guys today, this evening for cocktails, and we have our cocktails.
I have lemon water today. I'm on a 2 week.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
2 week fast from alcohol. So
okay,
my wine glass. I mean, I got the look.
and you guys can have whatever the drink of your choice. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. I do happen to have cranberry and vodka. I don't drink as often as it may seem like I do on YouTube. So technically, I've just come out of a fast.
Getting sober tonight.
Right. So I haven't drank in a while. But we are here with you this evening live to converse and share some of the hot topics, trending topics that we care about, because that's what we do on this channel. And this time it's interactive. It's not me in a video just talking at you guys. So definitely interact, like this video if you haven't, and as you come in. And also, if you are new to this channel and you have not subscribed as of yet, please do so as well. And also, Letitia Campbell. I see her first name there, but I'll have her channel linked in the description box below. But she's easier to search than I am, so you can search her at Letitia Campbell, and also go over there and show some love to her channel. And yeah, with that, let us know where you are calling in from. Where are you viewing from? Let me see.
My channel name is on this backdrop too. If they.
Oh, cool. So yeah, if you can see that, guys, that's her channel name as well. I'm trying to pull this up over here, but I want to mute it. Oh, cool. There we go. So yeah, see that guy. I want to be able to see the chat. All right. So let's see. So today I pulled up a couple hot topics. One in which I actually just did a video on that I uploaded earlier today. And that is American Airlines is canceling hundreds of flights throughout July, in part, they say, due to labor shortages and unprecedented weather. What I now know is it's nearly, they're saying 1,000 flights that will be canceled between now and it really started, I think, this past weekend. And so one of the things I found online was this, where they said that they were approaching 500 cancellations over the course of a 4-day period, which was started on Friday. They canceled 83 flights. On Saturday, they canceled 123 flights.
Wow.
On Sunday, 167 flights. And on Monday, which was yesterday, they canceled 97 flights. So I'm not sure how many flights they've canceled as of today, but basically I wanted to share it with our audience, because if any of you already have flights planned or are planning a trip soon, I wanted everyone to be mindful that they may want to explore all of your flying options.
You know what? I'm planning to go to Vegas next month. I haven't gotten my ticket yet. And what I did notice is that when I'm searching for flights, I usually search for my flights on Expedia.
Okay.
And American Airlines is one of the airlines that's not coming up as an option. So, yeah, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I also, I guess we need to talk about that too. I thought you was coming to Chicago, but that's okay. You want to come see us?
I want to come to Chicago. If I do come, it's going to be in August.
Okay.
Because originally my plan was to go to Vegas and then come from Vegas to Chicago. But then I thought about it and I said to myself, you know what? Let me just plan a separate trip so I can spend more days in Chicago.
Right, because I think I remember you saying it was only going to be like a kind of turnaround.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because the summer Chicago's a great place to be in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me the winters that just more. Right, you're in New York, so you know you already know what we deal with.
I don't like the weather in New York in the winter.
Right, right.
In Chicago. So, are they refunding these people back their money with these canceled flights, or like how is that working? Did they say?
Well, in my video, I read some comments where it seemed like over this weekend when I guess it first hit the fan, mm-hmm. they really just didn't have a plan. So one lady was commenting that her daughter ended up with a canceled flight. They didn't provide her with a hotel voucher, no food voucher, and people were just pretty much left to their own devices to find another flight or basically be on standby. And it was, I think another comment was saying how they were on standby, and it was kind of like, that's all we got for you. So, yeah, that is crazy.
Wow.
And then to add insult to it, also after doing the 30% cut of their staff, American Airlines was now asking their corporate employees to volunteer to help at the Dallas airport this summer for the surges. So they've understaffed and they're asking, and the TSA is too, but they're saying, and I don't know if this is correct or not, but what I read and heard was that they were asking for the staff to volunteer an additional 6 hour, like do 6 hour days for free, like help us out. Like, because you care so much and we're family. So I don't know if that's 100, because that seems like EEOC might be knocking on their door for that one, but I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. And I think you froze, Tish. But yeah, so Tish is probably clearing up some connection issues. Hey, Patricia Crankfield, good to see you. So I can't hear you, but okay, maybe you're back.
Hello? You can hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a little crazy. Like if they have, because they said that they cut, I'm hearing ranges of numbers of anywhere from 15,000 to 30,000 employees that they either furloughed, had do early retirement, or kind of dismiss them in some way. And to do that with for that many employees, and now be asking the remaining employees to come and work for free, like it's asinine. So
wow, that's crazy. So is all of this due to the whole pandemic situation, because they was losing money by people not traveling all this time?
So that's a little bit of what they're saying, is that they basically cut back their staff because there wasn't a demand at that, during the height of the pandemic. And now that it's surging, like people are traveling in mass a lot quicker than they were expecting. So they're not ready for the demand of people returning to flying. I guess they thought it would take people longer. The thing that some people brought up, which I thought was a good point too, is why are you the only airlines having that issue? Because it seems like maybe it's a management or leadership issue at that point, when all the other airlines seems to be surviving just fine. So it looks like it was, and also they gave their CEOs bonuses, and the CEO makes $11 million a year.
What?
And got a bonus during the pandemic.
So that sounds like some of the money that he's making needs to come out. Some of the money that he's making needs to go towards
salaries.
Yeah, salaries, exactly. Like, right. Sounds crazy.
Right.
$7 million?
Yeah, so it looks like maybe they got bonuses, leadership got bonuses because they weren't in the red. But the reason they weren't in the red and maybe had a good quarter even through the pandemic was because they let go of so many people.
Right.
So they didn't have to pay those salaries. So it wasn't like they were doing such a bang up job. They just got rid of a lot of people.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely nuts.
So yeah, that's that with that. But I guess, you know, we'll see more coming out as the summer goes on. So they claim that this is only going to be an issue through July, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I won't be their guinea pig.
Okay, I'm glad I know about this now because I won't try to book a flight. Well, I won't book a flight with American Airlines.
Yeah, and I generally don't fly with them anyway. Like it's kind of if I have to.
I actually like American Airlines. I have their credit card and everything.
Yeah, I like United and Southwest and Blue.
Okay.
So our next story is, I don't know if you've heard about this prior to me bringing it up, but an Iowa man was convicted of assault over a mask fight, and he was sentenced to 10 years. So this guy, let me pull up his picture. This man here, Shane Michael, he ended up last year, he was in an eyeglass store and another customer asked him to pull up his mask. Well, I don't know if it was a customer, but another guy asked him to pull up his mask. And Michael, he was arrested on November 11th of last year. And this was in Des Moines, Iowa. And the victim was a 60-year-old man named Mark. And the witnesses say that Michael got angry and they got into a verbal altercation over him being asked to pull up his mask. Then this guy, Michael, followed the older guy, the 60-year-old, into the parking lot, cornered him. Then he assaulted him. He gouged his eye, kneed him in the genitals where the guy had just had surgery. He spit and coughed on him and said, "If I have it, you have it." And so they said that the 60-year-old ended up biting Michael in order to stop the assault. And Michael is claiming that it was self-defense, but the witnesses all said otherwise. So Michael ended up being offered a plea deal, which would have been classified as a Class D felony, willful injury causing bodily injury, which I don't know much about all that. But instead, he opted to have his case heard by a jury. And that's how he ended up with a 10-year sentence. So he could have got off a little lighter. And because he was being adamant that I guess the old man deserved all of that and that he wasn't in the wrong. Yeah, he's going to jail for 10 years for that.
Okay. There's so many dynamics to this. First of all, assault. 10 years, that sounds astronomical. But then when I think about the fact that he made the statement, you know, did he say, "If I got it, you got it"? Or
yes, and coughed and spit on the guy.
Yeah, so I think that the reason why they made the sentence so heavy on this guy is because of the words that he used during the time that we're in right now. When I first heard it, I didn't think about all of that when I first read the story or whatever, but now, you know, sitting here listening to it over again, I'm like, okay, well, maybe that is why they hit him with such a heavy. Because, I mean, do we know, or do you know what amount of time does assault usually carry?
I didn't look that up.
So I'm thinking that maybe that's why. I don't know.
Well, I think that could be part of it. And then I think when you have things that are related to bodily fluid, I think that causes like a higher sentence. Yeah, then it's kind of like chemical, biological offense. I don't know. And I don't know the technical terms, but I think that has something to do with it as well.
So the guy, I see the guy, I don't want to make this a race thing, but the guy that was the victim, he was white, as we can see. What about the person?
No, that guy who I pictured is the guy who assaulted the older guy. This
Oh,
guy is 40 years old.
do you have a picture of the guy that
I did. They did have a picture, but it's him after being assaulted, and it was very graphic, so I didn't want to put it on for
Okay,
YouTube
got
purposes.
you. Okay, so,
I almost did. I said, "No, YouTube probably get me."
okay. So we can't play the race card with this one.
But they are both Caucasian.
Mm. Okay. So yeah, 10 years did sound like an awful lot of time for assault. But again, the climate that we're living in right now and the choice of words that he used, and that's like, what if he was infected with, you know, the C-19, and he infected that man? So I don't know.
Yeah, and these people be serious about their mask. Like and I don't know. They said that the older gentleman had just had surgery, so maybe he was just extra cautious. Like, hey, I don't want to get sick. But it's kind of like you got to be careful going up to people talking about policing them about their mask. Like,
yeah,
keep your distance. But
stay back.
Yeah.
Everybody is not as lenient as some people. Like, some people are more lenient about it. Some people are really serious about it.
Absolutely. Let's see what the audience is saying. Patricia, since they need people to work more, they can pay for the workers to work. Right. In response to American Airlines. That's true. So, and I'm confused with why American Airlines is asking for people to work for free. Supposedly they are trying to hire people, but the people who are currently there, they shouldn't be asking to work for free. Right. And then from what they're saying, it's like they're taking a long time with the hiring process as well. Like there's a backlog when it comes to that. But yeah, this story with the mask is very interesting, but it's a cautionary tale for those who think that you can put your hands on people because you don't like what they're saying to you.
I know in New York City, if you assault a bus driver, a New York City bus driver, the sentence is up to, I think, 7 years or something like that. Yeah.
That's good though. That's really good.
That's like, for their protection, because you figure they're working in the public, and you got a bunch of different personalities and things like that, angry people getting on the buses and stuff like that every single day. One of my girlfriends, she went through that. She was attacked by a passenger on the bus, and as a result, she was able to be out of work for a whole year with pay.
Oh wow. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that. I think it's kind of across the country that those things happen. I don't know what the laws are in Illinois as far as that goes, but they should be the same. Because I have definitely seen situations where people are attacking bus drivers or even trying to bully them. Like, I'm going to get on here and I ain't paying you nothing, and I'm about to go sit here. You're going to take me to my stop.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like that. So our next story is an update on justice for George Floyd. We had the trial. When did that trial end? It's been like 2 months, I think.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that was sometime in May. But the trial, which I watch actually every single day, we know that we, got a guilty on all charges for Derrick Chauvin. However, and I like this picture too. This is my favorite picture. However, it's not over because he has not yet been sentenced. That they are now working kind of behind the scenes. The prosecutors and his defense attorney are submitting different things to the judge to try to convince him, one way to lean one way or another with the sentencing for a longer sentence or when it comes to prosecution or a shorter sentence that his attorney is trying to get him. However, either way, his attorney is already building up a case for an appeal. And he's trying to use precedents of other cases from the 70s where things were heard. He's trying to say that a lot of things were done incorrectly during the trial. So, like, no one is, really surprised. My biggest concern, and the reason I wanted to definitely bring this up again, is I want us to all be mindful that it's not over, and we want to still be, vigilant in making sure that our voices are heard as far as, public opinion when it comes to this, so that, because you know what they like to do behind closed doors. They like to, act like one thing happened, and then you find out years later, oh my God, I didn't know that after that they did this, and kept that on the wraps. So I could easily see them, trying to reduce his sentence. Oh, because his attorney was also trying to go for versus giving him a jail sentence. He's
like community service or something.
What's that?
Like some type of community service or something?
It was just as bad. He wants to do time served. So the time that Chauvin has already been in jail, he wants to say, let's just use that and that be enough.
No. Now, what you can do is add that time on to the time that they give him. So let's say they give him 25 years.
Right.
The time he was in jail for the trial, you can, deduct that from that. But
right.
So that's how they normally do it.
Yeah, no, he wants to say, well, this whatever's been a year, if that, I don't even know how long he's been in jail, but he wants to use that time and say, okay, that's it, go for it. So he, that's what his defense attorney, a good attorney, would do, is try to get you off at all costs. And so that's what his attorney is doing. I just want us to be mindful that this is still happening. And also something else that's happening related to this case behind the scenes. The other officers, the other three, were actually supposed to start their trial on August 23rd, which is, very close. But now they actually have pushed it back to March of 2022 because they want some of the heat from public opinion to die down. Basically, Black Lives Matter and all that. And they're hoping that we forget about this.
Not only that whole narrative that you just stated about what's the other guy, Chauvin's lawyer trying to get him time served. The more they stall it, the more, and the more they can push for that same type of situation. And the fact that they didn't physically do the M word, I don't know if we can say the M word.
No, we can't, and I said it in our last live. I got all kind of strikes from stuff I was saying in that one.
So the fact that they didn't actually commit that crime or whatever, that would give them a lesser sentence. And I mean a lesser
charge,
lesser charge and a lesser sentence. So them being in there as as long as possible, that can definitely work for them to get that time served. Well,
I think all three of them are out. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think all three of them have been out the entire time. And someone, if you know in the chat, correct me, but because I remember seeing clips on social media of people harassing them in stores because they were like shopping, like
gotcha,
living a regular life or whatever.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, we gotta keep our eyes on this story, and I'll do my best to create content to kind of keep this in the forefront, so we don't forget about this, because this was a major win, so to speak. Even though it was a great loss, but we don't want that to go by the wayside like many other of our.
And even if the other officers, let's say, some twisted thing happens and they don't be found guilty, they can always go back and, charge them with a civil suit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and they probably gonna do that no matter what. But the truth is, they like Chauvin, for example. He and his wife filed for divorce, or I think she filed for divorce from him, like as soon as he was charged, as soon as he was charged. And what I thought immediately was this was for financial purposes, so that now the assets are in her name and they're divorced. So if someone comes after him, they can't get what she has, and it could just be him moving his assets all the way to her. Yes. So these other, people have probably done the same thing because that's the game.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to protect your assets. No matter how wrong you are, give each wrong is two left shoes.
Right.
But if you know that you're in a position where you could lose everything, and you can choose that way of not losing everything, then by all means, go for it. What you got to do.
And we have a newbie in the chat, L.A. Latham. Welcome. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel, and definitely show Letitia Campbell, my co-host today, some love on her channel as well. The other piece to this story, because again, this is all about things that are done in the dark. I want to show this video of, so they had a memorial. So at the site where George Floyd's life was taken, they memorialized it. So the public basically memorialized it, and they ended up blocking the entire intersection, all four corners, and it became the George Floyd kind of makeshift memorial. And it's been there almost since the incident occurred. And the city came in, and I'm going to show you what happened with no discussion to the people who organized it. The city came in and did this. Oh, is this is playing for it? Okay. I'm learning how to use this stuff. Are they cutting their tape? So this is, I'm realizing it's sounding all of it. It's not describing what's going on. But what's happening here is the city came in at, they said about 4 a.m. to remove the memorial. And this was almost to date of the 1 year commemoration, or I hate to say anniversary, because I don't know how you
death anniversary
of George Floyd. They took this down. So what they ended up doing, so people were saying they were taking it down, but what they ended up doing was moving it closer to the store. So they opened the intersection back up. So the issue with this, though, was that they didn't talk to the community. So knowing that people were coming there daily, memorializing, some people were saying it was just such a peaceful space, and it was kind of a space that they had allocated, saying this is a space for us where police can't, come and, harass us or whatever. And so, yeah, the city felt like time was up, and they came in and just moved it. And they were saying this just shows how they wield their power and disrespect, people of color. So yeah, that's the latest thing, but it's just kind of showing how they move in secret.
Okay, well, when I thought that they removed it completely. So where it was originally, was it in the middle of the street? Was it blocking the cars from?
Yes, so it took up all four corners, so you could not drive through that intersection. You had to go, around the next block or whatever. So it definitely took up all four corners.
I don't know if I don't feel like there was anything wrong with that.
I don't feel like it shouldn't have been moved. I do, however, feel like if this had been any other group of people memorializing something, the city would have called a town meeting. They would have discussed the plan. They would have said, this, of course, it's impeding traffic. This has been here a year.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we want you guys to have it, and we want it to be permanent. What can we do? What are the dates we're going to do this, and that? Let's get into planning of a permanent memorial in an appropriate space. Those are conversations that we know would have happened with other groups. So that's my issue. Kind of like, screw y'all.
We don't have to come to you and talk to you about anything.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Like, just gone over here to this corner where we just moved y'all.
Right.
So that's my only issue with it. And actually, a lot of people I've heard, like read stuff on Twitter and such, that's pretty much their stance as well. It's not so much, nobody thought it was going to necessarily be, well, I'm not going to say, most people did not think it was going to be there forever in blocking the intersection, but, treat us with some respect and
because this is our community and
right, consideration. Like, we're taxpayers as well, so treat us with some level of consideration.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
But I was gonna say we're used to it, but we are used to it, but we ain't okay with it. Like, it's time out for all of that.
Right.
So yeah, so Patricia's saying yes. Oh, I forgot. I'm still learning, y'all. I'm trying to get used to popping these comments up, and then I'll forget. So Patricia's saying yes. They would have told them in advance. Exactly. Had it been a different group of people, absolutely. We all know this. We know.
Yeah.
We ain't got to talk about it to this. We just know. We can give a look, and we know. we know what we're saying. So moving on to the next story, because we're going to try to keep this live reasonable. The last one was 2.5 hours. Even though we had an amazing time,
right.
We want to definitely keep these within an hour and a half max. But this story was very interesting to me. I just literally found out about this last night in watching All About the Tea. And this is the story of Kevin Samuels and Shekinah. She called into his show and basically was trying to give him a piece of her mind. And this is what happened. So I'm going to play you the actual clip. Make sure this is
level and you win, then it's worth something. So please don't tell a woman she's not a 10. If you don't get out of here, who is this? Oh no, how about it? What are you talking about? Don't tell a woman she's not a 10. I'll tell a woman she's exactly what I think she is.
Hello.
You got to come into the light.
I don't want to be in the light with you.
Well, then don't come on here telling me what I should not do.
Because you might tell me I'm a -3, and I don't want to be a -3.
Well, if you are a -3, that's what it is.
But I'm not a -3. I would never let you and no one else put me down.
See, it's not about putting down. It's just not about lying.
Hey, calm down, cutie. Calm down.
Yeah, kick rocks, bitch. See, that's what I mean.
Okay, so I cut that off. It's actually a 3-minute long clip, but that's the bulk of what I wanted us to talk about. So what are your thoughts on what just happened? So you and I have had some discussions about Kevin Samuels, and you have helped to, in full transparency, audience, she has helped enlighten me about Kevin Samuels and asked me to not just go off the sound bites of what I had saw in social media and actually watch a couple of his videos, which I did. But go ahead.
I did cover this story on my channel, and I agree with Shekinah when she says that he shouldn't tell a woman that she's not a 10 when she feels like she's a 10. I definitely agree that, because on that specific show, that show was about 2 months ago that she's talking about. That was about 2 months.
Oh, is it? It was that old?
Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 months old. And I remember I watched that live.
Okay.
And the young lady, when he asked her how did she rate herself on a scale of 1 to 10, before he can get the whole sentence out, she was like 10, like that. And his response was, "You need to humble yourself because you're not a 10 or whatever." Now, I don't agree with that because my thought process on that is if someone, whether it be a man or a woman, want to feel or think that they're a 10, allow them to do so.
Absolutely.
It's not your job to tell someone that they should think less of themselves.
Right. Bring somebody down a couple of notches or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Now, the other part to that we didn't see, Shekinah went live on her channel.
Okay.
She went live on her Instagram, and she was just going off on Kevin Samuels, how he just always bringing black women down and this and that. She was crying, and God was calling in, and they was just trying to get her to understand where he's coming from with these type of situations. My thing with that is, I have heard Kevin Samuels call black men a fat fuck.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I've seen.
And I've heard him disrespect and be just as blunt to men, but none of those videos go viral.
Yes.
So, I had to disagree with Shekinah on that in terms of her saying that he don't like black women and this and that. I just think me and my cousin went live on it the other night. We was talking about it, and we just both came to a conclusion. It was a joke, but for real, in a sense. He don't like black people. We get on his nerves. He just want us to get our stuff together as a whole, women and men. It has nothing to do with black women. Mm-hmm. That's how I think that he's a straight shooter with no chaser, and he do a lot of shock value for his show.
And I agree literally. Well, I don't know about the joking, the not liking black people, but I definitely think he wants us. I think he just wants people, male and female, to get their ish together. Because I've heard him talk to other, races as well. But
black people in particular, in my opinion.
What's that?
Black people in particular, in my opinion.
I think that's definitely the majority of his audience. My issue with this particular clip is him calling her the B word. I feel like for him to present himself as this all-knowing, highly educated, professional black man, mm-hmm. Highly educated, high esteemed people actually know how to communicate, know how to read somebody without cursing.
Yeah,
to me, that it was ugly. It was unnecessarily ugly. She didn't say, shut up, Igga or nothing like that. She said, shut up, cutie. Or no, what'd she say? Pipe. What?
She said, shut up. She said something cutie.
Pipe down, cutie, or something. So it was, she was trying to put him in his place, but she was complimentary in a way.
Yeah.
She did, and I just felt like that using that word was just extremely egregious. Yeah, and that's the piece where it's like, okay, you're trying to build. He's harsh in his approach, but his overall goal, so he says, is coaching people to be their best selves. How you tearing, in this particular situation, tearing a woman down when you're supposed to be building her up, And I've seen him flip conversations as well. Usually, he does the mind game power play kind of thing. But I've seen him have people call him in an aggressive way, and he kind of flips it around and takes his time with the conversation. And I really wish he had done the same thing with Shekinah.
Yeah,
there's a chance he may not, because she's Shekinah. So
could have been some good dialogue if he would have.
There's also a chance he may not have been able to have a dialogue with her, because we all know, those of us who know of her fairly well know that she has some issues. So yeah. Without saying too much, because I ain't trying to tear nobody down.
Right. So did you see him on DJ Vlad's channel? You seen Vlad?
I watched that sometime, but who? Kevin?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I haven't seen that though.
If you go to DJ Vlad's channel, Vlad TV, he did an interview. He do his little clips. Do like full interviews.
Yeah, his interviews are usually good, because I've seen plenty of them with other people. So I'll check that out, because I still haven't looked at Kevin Samuels and Tasha K, and that's been on my to-do list, and I keep forgetting.
Yeah. So in that interview, DJ Vlad was asking him some personal questions, and he looked really uncomfortable. He didn't want to answer those questions, and he's like, I really don't want to get into my personal life like that or whatever. He was looking uncomfortable. Like asking him, was he ever married, and stuff like that.
He said he was before, right?
Yeah, he did. But DJ Vlad was like getting more into depth.
Like, why didn't it work out? And
yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. And he didn't.
I don't know. I always this is and I actually have him on here on our agenda. Derrick Jaxn. It's kind of going in that realm a little bit. It's kind of like, to me, when a person is not open, but they want to, I don't know, they want you to answer every question they have of you about your life so that they can supposedly coach you because they know so much better than you. But then you can't even share who you are wholly, as a whole person, holistically with me, because I'm not going to take advice from you about what I should be doing when it's a persona that you're putting out there, like I'm not going to open the core of myself when you're putting out a persona. So I get a little bit of a persona from him, and I don't know, if we'll just learn more over time, or if he ends up having some scandal of his own. But yeah, I mean, overall, I will say my perspective on him is different than it was when I heard that first ever, when he went viral with telling that woman she was a 7. And now I understand better. And all the videos I did watch in entirety were all about men, with him having conversations with men, and he was ripping them apart. He was, how you gonna be fat, short, and broke? 2 of them you can control. It's like, heck. I mean, it's true, but dang. He's like, you complain you ain't got no woman, but you can control 2 of those things that will help you get a woman. You ain't got no self-esteem. He was ripping these men apart, but there was a lot of truth.
So pitiful. They sound so pitiful. And he told one man he was underemployed.
Yes, that might have been the same. Well, he told that to a couple people in the live I was listening to. Because one guy was saying he made $40,000. He was like, that ain't nothing. You broke.
And he's 40 years old or something like that.
Yes. So I do understand, and what someone was pointing out that I heard talking about Kevin Samuels recently was the fact that he didn't take off. Like, he had been talking to men like this and doing work with men for a long time, and he didn't take off until he started getting on the women. And they were saying how the women are supporting him. Like, that's the reason he's growing. Like, they're supporting him in this aggressive, language and abuse, really. So what can you say?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Derrick Jaxn.
Okay, so Patricia's saying, my opinion is everyone has their own opinion, and just because they say it, it doesn't make it true. You have to know who you are. You don't have to drag a person to get your point across. Exactly, Patricia. You are in my head. That is exactly what I was trying to express. And she had another piece to it, especially if you're trying to help them. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree, Patricia.
So that was the part more than anything that just rubbed me the wrong way when I cringed when I was like,
Like, and so the truth without being so brutal.
Yeah. And like I said, the rest of the clip is like another 3 minutes or so, and everything else he was saying, I wasn't even listening to because I was so stuck on what had just occurred and the way that he addressed her. So
yeah.
So our next item on our agenda is, I don't know, are you familiar with this? Because I didn't talk to you earlier to ask you if you were familiar about the All About the Tea panel and the drama. Because it's been
I wasn't familiar. I'm not familiar, but I watched some of the Wiley show that you sent me today.
Okay.
Go on All About the Tea channel and watched. Was that All About the Tea channel? Did I go on?
Yeah, that was the one I sent you. Was yeah. So what occurred? So I'll give a quick little overview. And I almost did a video on this, and it was so much information I just couldn't quite get it going. But this was her old panel of people who and this person, All About the Tea, this lady in the center, this avatar is Monica, and Monica runs the All About the Tea brand. This is her channel. but she has other influencers. Usually, most of these people have smaller platforms than her. She has them come on her channel and they discuss hot topics. So just like you and I are doing right now, but it would be a panel of, a bunch of people. The issue is she had one of her panelists, Prez, who the one where it says at the bottom, I quit. Prez is an attorney, and Prez at a certain point, because they were doing these lives like I think twice a week or something. They were doing them until the wee hours of the morning. They were doing like 6-hour lives, etc. And this was like recurring. And some of them weren't getting paid at all, and a few of them were getting like $300 a month to do this. And of course, Monica, the one who runs All About the Tea, this avatar, she is making whatever her AdSense and whatever else she got coming in is. And she's on Instagram and all that. She's one of those bloggers. But anyway, Prez ends up leaving. It ends up being some drama about how she left. They end up falling out. Then Prez ended up doing a video on her channel kind of calling out how she was treated by Monica and some of the other panelists. And the next thing you know, it just blew up. And then one by one, they all kind of fell out with Monica and ended up leaving. And this all happened like within a 2-week span. And so for me, the issue is because I see kind of behind, like I look beyond what's presented. Yeah. And I feel like Monica was using these people for her brand because they're creating content for her. They're giving flair to her channel because I've seen some people say she just doesn't have the personality to carry it by herself. And that's why she has these panelists, because it's just her. And she will not show her face. And for me, what is just the craziest part about it is she won't show her face, but she will not allow anyone on her platform who does not show their face. So even when she opens up her StreamYard for people to join in to, her audience, if they don't have their face, like live video, they can't comment.
Oh, that's not fair.
So that's been some of the issues. So with all of this fallout and some people picking sides and being against Monica, people started hunting down, trying to figure out who she was, literally investigating her real life to try to figure out who she was so that they could expose who she really is. I don't know if anyone successfully was able to identify her, but I saw there were quite a few videos out from different content creators claiming that they had figured out who the real Monica was.
Wow.
So it's been a lot. So the other piece to that, and this was the main reason I sent you the video yesterday. Now, the Wiley, and I didn't pull up a picture about himself, but this guy here, Wiley, from the Wiley show, he's been a YouTube content creator for a long time.
A long time in the beef sector.
Yes, he's originally from the beef sector. I actually do watch his content weekly, a few times a week, because now he's putting out content every day, like a few times a day, 3-4 times a day. So I do follow the Wiley show. And anyway, what I noticed when this happened was that he started to immediately take Monica's side in this drama. And I'm like, her whole panel has fallen out with her. But he took her side in the way that he was defending her, because he didn't know her prior to this, but it just seemed like there was an agenda to it. And he had some of his audience kind of turn and start calling him a flip-flopper. Like you kind of just ride the coattails of people, so to speak. And so it just seemed very odd. So the next thing
have an agenda.
Yes.
I follow him, but I know his personality. He's trying to grow his platform.
Exactly. So, but it's so obvious, and he's trying to be like, it ain't obvious, but everybody's reading right through it. And that's the part that's been getting to me, because I do follow him legitimately and think he has potential to grow, but it's these methods just have me looking at him kind of side-eyed, because I didn't do that on purpose. I did not. I'm not that person. But anyway, so have me looking at this. Stop.
Let me Wiley y'all.
That's Wiley for all of you who are, and I'm not But yeah, it was a Freudian slip. But so anyway, he started defending her. All of a sudden, he did an interview with her because she's like, oh, this is somebody with a decent sized platform who's taking my side. So supposedly she did an interview with him. Next thing you know, he's on her show. And I said, I see what's happening. So now I think they are doing, like, her whole panel is gone, but now it's her and Wiley on her channel. Now she hides her subscriber count, but it looks like she might be near 100,000 or above or at or whatever. But anyway, he knows what he's doing and he's trying to capture some of her audience. But what I'm seeing with this, because I have watched it 2 weeks in a row now, is that he is the person who is carrying the show. So she's doing the same thing she was doing with her other panelists, where she presents a story, presents a question, and she just sits back and she'll throw a word in here or there and laugh and all of that. But she's not the character. Right. Wiley is just being Wiley, and it's like he's making it entertaining.
Because Wiley is entertaining. I used to listen to Wiley every morning at one time. I haven't listened to him in a while because I've been so focused on, my channel. Right. But, Wiley is definitely entertaining. I like him.
Yeah, definitely.
I like Wiley.
Definitely. Yeah, and he may see this and not like me, but but I do like and follow Wiley, but I see what Wiley's doing too. And I'm all about calling a spade a spade.
But you know what, as far as all about the tea, and I would say that her having a panelist on her show to carry her show and build her show up wouldn't be a problem if she was in turn going on to other people's show to support their channels and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like that at all. It literally looks like she's taking advantage of people. Like she doesn't really have the skills. Well, I'm not gonna say the skill set, but maybe the flair that's needed. And so she kind of poaches people to get that piece, grows her platform, gives them pennies and little handouts here or there, and that's supposed to be good enough and play their best friend. But I've seen in the very beginning of my YouTube journey, somebody tried to pull me in under that same guise, and I'm like, no, I'm a very independent person. I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah. Like I'm not that person that comes under somebody's wings. Like I used to be as a, but I'm not that person. Like I'll partner with someone, but even in that, I want to have my freedom,
Right.
But yeah, some people will see something in someone and try to latch on, but then take control of it at the same time. And I see that in her. So I don't think that's going to work with Wiley because he is his own brand, and he's kind of been through a little bit of this before because he ended up falling out with Armand Wiggins because they came up together, and they recently kind of hashed it out and made up. But I'm noticing he's kind of doing this. He's kind of trying to change his image. I think because he's trying to grow, he's trying to create as many friendships or mend as many friendships and create as many friendships as possible. So we're watching you, Wiley.
Then he took his subscriber count down again too.
Wait, who?
Wiley took a subscriber count down too.
Oh, I noticed that too. He did that about a month or so ago. I noticed that. Yeah.
Because the last time I looked at his subscriber, he was like at 17,000.
Yes. Yeah. And then he I think it might have been this story or was something else. Like he hit a viral kind of situation. And he took it down, and then he kept. Now he's, like I said, he's posting like 3 times a day or so, 2 or 3 times a day, and doing these like real late night lives and stuff. So he's hitting it hard, trying to get his numbers up, and I ain't mad at that at all because that's what you
right.
I got better at it. I got to quit taking these long breaks because I would have been at 10,000. Okay, so we have another story. I guess our second to last story. And that is the resurgence of Derrick Jaxn. The infamous Derrick Jaxn. So on Father's Day, his wife posted this, and this is from the Shade Room, giving them their credit. It says, "The father of the fruit of my womb, let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth. For your love is more delightful than wine. You've poured into our seed. Oh, you poured into our seeds, and they are developing and growing far beyond what the eye can see. Thank you for all you do. Happy Father's Day at Derrick Jaxn. And as we see here, it's Derrick Jaxn and his wife, and she has a natural fro, which there's nothing wrong with it, but hers looks a little dry, but there's nothing wrong with the fro.
Is that her hair or is it a wig? I wonder if that's her natural hair.
You know, I don't know, because I know she does have natural hair, and I think she has a nice length of hair.
It's so perfect.
That's true too. That's true too. Some people were commenting, you know, about, I don't know, she always looks a little
homely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was afraid to say it because I didn't want to get canceled.
And she was doing way too much. She's a holy roller that just, I feel like she's not living on Earth. She's living up in the clouds somewhere.
Right. Hey, Bambi. And so this was her their post to each other. And this part that tripped me out. So he responds, "Thank you, my love," smiley face, the prayer. Loving that fro, by the way. Weren't you there with her?
I was doing too much. Go ahead.
Yeah, then she replies with the peach plus. Oh, this is supposed to be an eggplant and then eyes. And then Derrick Jaxn says, "Say less," and a little blushing face. And then she replies with a wink face emoji with the tongue out. And
they probably sit right next to each other doing all that.
Thank you.
They live in the same house. I just don't get it.
Even if we were not in the same house and I'm at work or I'm out across the country and you at home or whatever's going on, why the hell am I texting you through Instagram?
Yes, why we can't say to each other in private? It's all for a show.
Right. I can see sending a text message. Patricia said, wait a minute. I got to remember to, I'm going to get better with this, y'all. Patricia said, no comment. But
all for show.
All for sure. And I don't know why these influencers and celebrities, because influencers basically are, you know, many celebrities, and they're doing the same thing now where they're doing these same tactics that celebrities would pull to try to change the narrative of what we already know to be, you know, to be going on. We know you're trying to repair your brand. We know that at this point it's probably a business deal. She knows that if she leaves you, your brand is going to suffer even more than it has. And I'm hearing he took a huge hit. That's her money too. Like if he ends up having to get a 9 to 5.
Let's get off the show.
Right. Oh, and I forgot this. This is so staged. Is this a natural picture, Tish? You think you questioning it? Natural?
I don't know. I got a question mark.
I swear I see a photographer's shadow in the background.
Wait.
Like a professional photographer. Like they went from doing that. Oh, wait, let's look at this. Okay, so she had the fro because I'm saying it could have been the same day. They might have just changed outfits.
Go back to the
photo shoot day. Is his hair the same? Well, of course his hair is the same.
Go back to the other one. Now this one.
This one or this? Wait, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one, that does look like that could be her hair. That looks like a real fro.
Yeah, I agree.
That looks like a real fro right there. I like it. I just feel like she don't match him.
She doesn't because of what you said. I didn't say it, that she looks homely.
Yeah.
But they say that his type is actually these women that he's been caught with are like, you know, all done up, makeups, fair skinned and all of that. And they're saying that, I don't know if she said it or whatever, but people are saying that he likes his wife to be natural. However, who he cheats with is nothing like
looking chicks.
Right.
I think that he's one of those type of men that he wants that homely looking wife. He wants that homely wife because she's wholesome and she's, you know, you know, what a man think that a wife is supposed to be and look like for the most part.
Right. And then also, you know, she's the kind of girl that's going to be at home, woman that's going to be at home waiting while you run the streets and allow you to do your dirt and
IG models.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he definitely looks controlling, Bambi.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That picture could have been saved. They could have sat there and posed for the camera, like you hold the cook like this, and I'm gonna look at you like this.
Yeah, it just looks. It looks like a professional photographer. Like they may, you know, they probably were actually eating ice cream or whatever. But yeah, like her lipstick ain't even kind of messed up from eating ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a lot going on. But anyway, he's obviously trying to make a comeback because this was his first post, you know, since the apology tour.
Well, I'm gonna say this: if they are truly mending their marriage, kudos to them.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we want to see, you know, black love. We want to see them win.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his infidelity played out in the public eye. But we know that there's tons of people who have marriages where their man is doing the most, just not seeing it. So, unfortunately, she had to be humiliated in the public eye in front of hundreds of thousands of people.
Right. Well, millions, probably.
But it is what it is. I mean, I kudos to them. I hope that they be married forever until.
Yeah, I just hope he, you know, changes his ways and you know, I don't know, but I hope. Bambi, your comment got held for review because of one of the words, but I'll try to read it without that word. Bambi says a lot of men like their women a certain way to raise their kids. Then they get into get the other 20% that they wouldn't bring home to mess with.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That's a certain kind of certain kind of man that would do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Patricia's saying that's right, Letitia.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go ahead. What's that?
I said, hey, Patricia.
And so actually, since we're on the subject of that, the next and our last story is also related to that. And I don't know how many of you follow or watch Married to Medicine, but it is actually one of my favorite shows, probably over the Housewives of Atlanta, especially at this point. I just don't get around to doing the reviews on it. And next season, I plan to change that now that I know how to do these live thingamajigs.
Yeah.
But we have Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott, who this season, really it started last season, where they really started to have like the, you know, cracks in their marriage started to show when she went away to pursue a higher degree, maybe a doctorate, I forgot what it was, but so that she could qualify to become an attorney general. And he was left in Atlanta with the children while she was in maybe Nashville. I forgot exactly where, but maybe Nashville. And she, anyway, so he basically had an issue with her from that. And so now that she's back, she has gotten her degree. Now he's kind of shading her and not really just being a full partner. Like, and he's sneaking around and he's doing stuff. So supposedly towards the end of this, she's been trying to get them to have marriage counseling. He doesn't believe in marriage counseling. And so she has started to go to counseling, a life coach by herself. And he was making fun of her, but then just one day automatically says that he was also seeing a life coach, and it was a lady that he met through his DMs on social media. So Contessa was feeling some kind of way about that, because it's like, how are you meeting with some lady you're just mentioning by happenstance? And he also said he doesn't pay her. So who is this? What kind of doctor is this that you go to and tell your life to and you don't pay them? It sounds like more of a mistress situation or something. So it all came to a head on the finale, where he then flips the story and says it's not a lady, it's a man, and he gave some fake name like John, Robertson. It just sounds like a made up name. And he says this guy, it's not a girl. A lady rather. He just said that because he basically was trying to get under her skin. Nobody's buying it, and it seems like it's at this point like it's a mentally abusive relationship, and she's practically in tears every time you turn around. I'm laughing at Bambi's comment. So I know you haven't really been watching fully, but basically my question or point of conversation was pretty much the relationship piece of it, like being in a relationship with someone and the relationship is strained. They're not trying to fully recognize it, and there's a major communication gap, and they don't want to get counseling. They kind of are acting like whatever's wrong, we'll get through it, but they're not doing anything to help make that happen. Like, how do you handle that? And then there might be speculation of, a chance that they're cheating on you as well, because there was also a situation where supposedly he has nude pictures from girls that he's getting in DMs that he may have actually requested as well.
You definitely, in a situation like that, it has to be both parties trying to make it work. It can't work one way. If you're saying that she's going to counseling and he's not, and then
he claims he is, but he's going to a male doctor who doesn't charge him.
Right. Then you're saying that piece, that's like a whole different, layer added on to the situation. It just can't work. And then in addition to therapy, you got to get to the root of it. You got to tackle the root of it. And it got to be like, you got to talk about it. You got to say the hard things. Yeah. You have to. You got to ask the hard questions. You got to answer the hard questions. And I feel like that is the only way you can get through the situation to where you can clear the air in your relationship and move to a level and a space where now you two are on a level, the same playing field with each other. But until you do that, it's going to always be feeling like a thickness in the air. It's going to be so thick that you can cut it with a knife.
And unfortunately, things like that, those kind of issues in relationships, they grow like cancers. And it's kind of like if you don't treat them, if you don't remove it or, do something to eradicate it, it's only going to get bigger until it kills the relationship, really. And that's kind of where I think they are. But the first part 1 of the reunion starts this coming Sunday, and I will definitely be there. And I think I'm definitely going to try to do a recap video on it just because I care so much.
Married to Medicine now.
What's that?
I'm gonna have to go and binge watch this last season now.
It was good.
I do it. Like I'm not an avid watcher of it, but there are times that I'll sit down and I'll binge watch a couple of episodes. I've never watched a full season though.
Okay. It's good. To me, it held my attention way better than Atlanta did. But yeah, so and then Housewives of Potomac will be airing soon as well. That should be next. So,
okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because that was a very I don't know, it was kind of hurt me a little bit watching him treat her like that. Yeah, and the friends tried to help out like they did when Dr. Jackie and Dr. Simone, when they were having relationship issues themselves over the past couple seasons. The group kind of came together, the other married couples, like, let's help y'all get through this. The men are talking to the male and the women are talking to the female and opposite, where they're just vice versa, rather, where they're helping coach, like them to see each other's sides and stuff. And so they attempted to do that with Dr. Scott, and he snapped off and basically walked away from the table, and Dr. Contessa's crying and he's grabbing her hand like, we got this. We don't we've been through worse ish, you know, we gonna get through this, you know, but he ain't really trying to do anything to make it happen. Bambi saying the Housewives of Atlanta needs to recast. Married to Medicine is passing them up. Yeah, absolutely. Married to Medicine is passing them up. I even started liking Anila, the new girl on lady. I keep saying her. The new lady on the Housewives of I'm sorry, Married to Medicine. I even started liking her. But Atlanta supposedly is getting a shakeup. They their contracts were supposed to go out 2 weeks ago. They delayed it. There's speculation that Phaedra might be coming back, and and that there might be a holdup with Portia holding out in some way, and that Cynthia is probably not coming back. But Cynthia, I think, is supposed to be on Wendy Williams' show this Thursday. Okay. And they're kind of speculating that maybe she'll make the announcement, and maybe that's why everything hasn't happened with the contract, that she might be making the announcement on the Wendy Williams show that this or last season was her last season, but we'll see. Okay. It's all speculation, but we'll see.
I saw that Patricia said in the chat earlier that you spoke to me when you first.
Yeah, she did in the very beginning.
I didn't see it, Patricia, because I can't see the comments.
Yeah, and I think because I don't think I displayed it. I think we just spoke or something. I'm learning. It might have been on me not putting up these comments because it's a lot of movements, a lot of pieces. That's why I've been doing the pre-records on these first. Yeah, so I can get used to how to use it, and then I'm like, once I feel comfortable, that's just coming from corporate America and doing presentations and stuff. Yeah, I have it's just a certain way I have to do it. Otherwise, I don't feel comfortable. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm starting to feel way more comfortable now. So
you're a perfectionist. It's all good.
I am. I was watching. I don't know if you watch. Good Lord, I'm gonna forget his name. Jesus, he's a YouTube coach, and he talked about perfection paralysis. Yeah, like you spend so much time trying to be perfect or perfect something that you end up stifling even creating it at all. And I'm definitely guilty of that. Many times we would have had a ton more videos on this channel if I didn't suffer from that. But I'm working through it. Yeah. But anyway, that brings us to a close. I want to thank everyone who is in the chat. Everyone who is not even in the chat who are viewing. Thank you guys for supporting this channel. Make sure to also support Letitia Campbell's channel. And again, I'll have it in the description below for those of you who watch this broadcast later. But with that, until next time, join the text community as well. My text community, the VIP text community. And so that's where I send out text messages when we are having videos uploaded, going live, etc. But also you can use that as a means to direct message me. So yeah, and I respond and send me stories, etc. And then we have one last comment before we take off. Bambi says the only one that uses the ATL Housewives platform correctly are Candy and Portia. Cynthia and Sheree could have used the platform a lot better. Oh, absolutely. I mean, at least Cynthia's got the wine, Bailey wine or whatever, wine cellar. Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's done okay. Sheree seems to be more of a social media influencer. I think that's where she's primarily making her money from brand deals. Because when I've been on her Instagram page, she has a bunch of sponsored posts. So I think that's primarily what she's doing, like an Instagram model kind of situation.
Well, look, it's working for her.
Yeah, and she's also, I heard she was a part of some group going to Africa or that went to Africa, like these people with money, to start looking at investing and buying property there. So she might be doing more stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, that's what's up.
But thank you.
Trish. Time today.
What's that?
We did good on time today.
Yes, I was actually glancing. So I'm glad I cut back a couple stories, but yeah, this is fun. So we will do this at some point in the future. Yeah. And I'll be on Tisha's channel with whatever she comes up with for us to collab on. And but until next time, everyone, make sure to take care and be blessed.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.